Hi everyone, it's Christine here from Ever After Paper Crafts, and today I have a fun birthday card to share with you. This one is using all Stampin' Up! Products, and this is the card that we're going to be making today. It's a super fun card using the Sweet Cupcake stamp set from Stampin' Up! As well as the coordinating dies that you can buy separately. The dies and the stamp set will be continuing over into the new Stampin' Up! Catalog, and I was really excited because this set was new as of the current catalog that's going on right now. The new catalog comes out June 1st, but I hadn't gotten a chance to play with it yet, and I love it, and you know I love layer stamping, so I decided to get it out today and give it a try, and I really love this stamp set. It was super fun to make, and this is such a simple card. This literally took me about 10 minutes to put together, so I thought I'd do a quick video on it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to stamp out our cupcake. Now, what's really great about this particular stamp set, and all of Stampin' Up's really, triple layer or two-step stamping or whatever you want to call it, is on the actual stamps themselves, there are numbers. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up or not, but see, for example, these three images are the three frostings that are going to go on the top of your cupcake. This one on the stamp packet has a number 1 next to it. This one has a number 2. This one has a number 3. And if you were going to stamp them in that order, you'd go dark, medium, light color. For some weird reason, I guess I'm strange, but I like to go in reverse. So I will be stamping 3, 2, 1. So my light color, my medium color, and my dark color. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull off stamp number 3, which is this one. And to create my pink cupcake, and this is just a scratch piece right here of Whisper Away cardstock. So to create my pink cupcake, I'm going to use 3 colors in the pink family. I'm going to use Blushing Bride, Flirty Flamingo, and Melon Mambo. So to start with, let's do the Blushing Bride. Now, because these are photopolymer stamps, they don't have cushion on them like a rubber stamp or a cling stamp would. They're flat stamps, which makes them wonderful. They are very high quality, but because they lack that cushion, I always recommend, excuse my reach, putting a piece of foam or even your Stampin' Up! Catalog or a mouse pad or something underneath the paper you are going to be stamping on. It just simply gives a little bit of extra padding to the stamp, a little bit of extra cushion rather, to the stamp, and it helps you stamp a perfect image every time. So let's go ahead and stamp our bottom layer of our icing for our cupcake in Blushing Bride ink and pull it away. Now remember, Stampin' Up! Inks are dye inks, so that means that they stain the paper. So this might look a little tiny bit blotchy right now, but in a moment it's going to smooth out as it dyes into that paper, and it's going to have a smooth finish to it, which I love. So sometimes I've heard people say that they get frustrated because they don't feel like their images are coming out perfectly like they should. And if you just give it a moment, put that cushioning underneath your stamp where you're about to stamp, and then give it a moment for the color to dye into that paper, your image should be perfect. So the next layer, I pulled off stamp number 2 for the icing. I'm going to ink that up in my Flirty Flamingo, which was last year's ink color. It's still good in this next coming up catalog. Now, normally I would kind of put my head over this to see directly through, but I don't want my head to block your view. So I'm going to do the best I can lining this up, but it's really easy when you just look through the clear blocks, and that's not so horrible. So that's the Flirty Flamingo on top of the Blushing Bride. Go ahead and close up that ink pad. And now we are ready to take off our number 1 ink from our stamp set, our number 1 stamp rather, from our stamp set, which is going to be our darkest color, and I did this one in Melon Mambo. So let's go ahead and ink that up, and we are going to stamp this down as well, just layering it right on top of where we just stamped all those other images. And that gives us our tricolor or multicolored pink frosting, which I just love. So because I use the coordinating dies on my finished card, I'm not worried where I'm going to stamp the cupcake part, the cake part of the cupcake. I'm just going to stamp it up here because I'm going to ultimately die cut these out. So let me pull my stamp set back over here. So we have 3 different parts to our actual cake part. They are numbered on the stamp section as well. And they are numbered 1, 2, and 3. And again, I'm going to go backwards because I just like to start with my lighter color. but that's just me. You do it however you like to do it. There's no right or wrong way when it comes to this. Just make sure that the most solid image is your lightest image, and then you go from there. So I'm going to be using Crumb Cake for my bottom or lightest colored image. So let's go ahead and ink that up and stamp that directly down. And that will be our lightest color for our cake part of our cupcake. Our next color is going to be soft suede. So let me pull this off and we'll get our number 2 image off of the stamp sheet. And we will go ahead and open our soft suede ink pad, ink this up, and stamp this down right on top of what we just stamped down. Okay, there's that. And then our final step for this cupcake is image number, in my case, because I go backwards, mine's going to be image number 1, which is the darkest color, and I'm doing that in early espresso. So basically what I created here is a chocolate cake cupcake with super fun, cute pink icing. And you just stamp that right on top there. And that gives you your icing and your cupcake. So we're done with the cupcake part. Now I want to stamp out the cute little candle. And I decided to keep it fun and bright colors, so I did kind of an orange color scheme. So I'm going to peel off my most solid image first. Is going to be my lightest color, which I chose Peekaboo Peach. Let's go ahead and ink that up. And whoops, I have it upside down there. Okay. So that's the candle and the Peekaboo Peach. And now let's go ahead and take that off our block, get the other one, and then I chose Tangerine Tango for the darker color, for the accent color on top of the candle. So let's open Tangerine Tango, and we'll stamp this right on top of our Peekaboo Peach. Whoops, that didn't go too well, did it? Let's try that again. As you can see, I sort of off-centered it, so I want to try it again just to show you guys how it does actually line up. I just didn't do it very well here. Let me try again. So there's the bottom one. Peel that off my block. Dip this in the Tangerine Tango, and we'll try again. My head might be slightly in this. I apologize. Okay, much better, much better. So there you can see. And it's so much easier too when you're not on camera. I promise you guys, when you can have your head right over the image and see right through the clear blocks, it lines up beautifully. Now, the very last thing that we have to stamp is the little flame of the candle. And it's this very teeny tiny little stamp here. And I just chose Daffodil Delight, which is a nice bright yellow for that. And again, I'm stamping everything separately because I'm cutting everything out with the coordinating dies. So I'm not trying to line them up and just make it a flat image. I'm giving this lots and lots of dimension. So with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. So that's why I'm not kind of creating the scene on this cardstock. Now to save time, I went ahead and off camera had stamped all of these and cut them out so you guys didn't have to watch me with the big shot. It's very simple. These are the coordinating dies that come with the, well, you can buy them separately. They coordinate with the stamp set. And so this is your icing die, this is your cupcake cake part, this is the candle, and this little oval here was the flame. So I just lined everything up using the magnetic base of my Big Shot, ran it right through, and here are all the little pieces that you get. I also cut out a stitched square from Whisper White cardstock using Stampin' Up! Stitched Square Fringlet dies. And I decided I was going to layer my cupcake on this white panel. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Let me grab my dimensionals because I want this to have a lot of dimension and pop to it. So I'm going to go ahead and stick 2 dimensionals here on the cupcake, and then on the cake part, and then on the icing part we're going to put a couple as well. I'm going to focus the dimensionals on the icing part up top because as you'll see in a moment when I turn these over, the cupcake is going to kind of layer over, the icing rather, is going to layer over the cake. So I'm going to set this here, and then we're going to layer this right on top of that cake part. For the candle, I actually took just a little bit of glue from a glue pen and ran that on the candle. And the reason that I did that was because I didn't want to cover up the cute cupcake that we just created. So I wanted to stick it back here kind of underneath the cupcake. So it still was cute and could be seen, but it also didn't cover up the cute cupcake that we just created. I'm also going to put just a little bit of glue on the very bottom of the flame of the candle and then just stick that to the very top. So it looks like the flame's coming right off the candle. So that's our cute little cupcake adhered to the little square, stitched square base that we created. So the next step is, this is a piece of crumb cake, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. So just a little bit smaller than your card base. And I'm going to take this image here. Let me show you the front of the stamp set. This little image right here from the stamp set. And it looks like it could be confetti or sprinkles for the top of the cupcake. I kind of imagined it as sprinkles for the top of the cupcake. And so I am going to take this off and let me see if I can find my small block here. And there it is. I'm going to grab my smallest block and my chocolate chip ink. And I really like chocolate chip and crumb cake together, even though I didn't use chocolate chip on the actual cupcake. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink this up and stamp this randomly all over this crumb cake paper to create my own background. And I'm just kind of turning and moving this so it's not the same image all the time, or the same, you know, in the same position every time. I'm just moving, twisting it around, and like I said, just creating my own little background pattern paper, so to speak, with this little sprinkle image. So this is just a very, very quick and fun way to create your own background paper using you know, more of your stamps. So it's a good way to kind of stretch your stamps as well. So let's just kind of fill in some of these gaps here. And we are almost done. Okay, that looks good to me. So we will just close up our chocolate chip ink.